What is up, Get Geeked Nation? Episode 47. Ready, ripping, let's go. Quarantine day 5 or something like that. It's been a week, I want to say so. No, it's not a week. It's almost a week since the announcement from the governor. And it's not like a forced quarantine. It is a suggested quarantine. So we're not like forced in here, but it's suggested. It's better off for everyone if you guys do stay inside, please. Although, even though like certain places have turned into a ghost town, and I gotta say it's a little eerie because the place that I work at is Old Town Torrance, and usually when I go to work, it is hustling and bustling, and there's a lot of people out. But for the last week or so, when I've been at work, it is a ghost town there. But I have to say, there's still a few brave old people that just there's a bunch of people that still just like they just creep out of their house and they're just walking out there like nothing's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and luckily, I'm so lucky. My job is considered essential. So I am still working. I'm still making money, even though I know a lot of people out there are jobless right now. And I feel for them. We got to figure out a way to help those people out. I know the government's talking about some kind of relief package, but I know they're having problems putting it through. So, dude, I don't know. We're just getting screwed left and right here. But I don't want to spend the whole episode this time talking about it, but I mean I'm gonna spend a little bit of it just speaking about it, just because I went into a small rabbit hole of listening to conspiracy theories about all of this stuff, and gosh, Sam Tripoli and Eddie Bravo, they have some very, very convincing things to say that makes me feel, I don't know, but still though, I'm gonna play it safe, But the thing is that, I mean, I've been self-quarantining myself way before this whole thing has ever even happened, just because I started to not like people. Yeah, so I mean, I've been self-isolating myself from everybody already pre this, so I'm okay. I don't know how all you guys are doing out there. It seems like everyone's kind of fine, looking through social media and everything like that. Nothing crazy or out there is happening, although the grocery stores are a bit ridiculous. I did go out and buy me a couple of weeks worth of food, and let's just say there's slim pickings. A lot of slim pickings. And the thing is that I went to a regular grocery store, not like a Whole Foods or anything like that. And when I eat at home, I tend to try to eat vegan. And I went to the aisle where they have all the vegan and vegetarian food, and even that aisle was scarce. It was empty, and I was just like, why? Like, aren't the real vegetarians and vegan people shopping at Whole Foods and stuff, or Sprouts or something? And Albertsons, like, it's empty. So I don't know, but luckily I found enough. Got a few can of beans, got some vegan burritos and vegan patties and stuff like that. Box of cereal, some almond milk and stuff like that. So I'm chilling. I'm straight chilling, so I'm good, and I hope everyone out there is good. I did watch a few things because, I mean, even though I've already been doing this, I've just I've found stuff to watch, and I'm gonna review them. One of the things that I watched was the new Zombieland Double Tap. I gotta say, what a step down from the first one. I think it's because the first one was kind of fresh and they didn't do anything too cliche. The jokes were pretty new. And it was exciting and it was funny, but this one when I watched it, seemed a little forced. I mean, although there are parts in there that were kind of, funny and endearing in a ways, but yeah, it was just they used a lot of cliche jokes, and not just cliche jokes, but a lot of jokes that are kind of how do you say, too, it would get too dated in time. And I don't know why they tried to do it, but they did. Like there was like an Uber joke in there, like, they there, because like supposedly there was a zombie apocalypse for them happen pre-Uber, and the girl was like, say, how come they don't make a job, like a company that does this? And I don't know, the joke just fell flat for me. It just seemed like it didn't work, even though maybe in their heads it should have worked. It just, for me, did not work. So it was a bit too cheesy, but like, because the thing is, the first one was cheesy, but in a good way cheesy. Like, I guess when you do a movie like that, you're kind of walking on a fine line of too cheesy and funny cheesy. And I felt like they kind of, on this one, on Double Tap, they kind of fell over to too cheesy, and it just didn't work. Like, they were trying to walk that line, and it tipped over into too cheesy. Because there's a lot of movies out there that I love because of how cheesy it is, Shaun of the Dead, stuff like that, Hot Fuzz, like those type of movies. They're cheesy, but they're good cheesy. Like they're funny and make sense in a ways, because they are cheesy, right? So I don't know, it just didn't work for me, and I found myself cringing at a lot of jokes that they were doing. Pushing it into the whole mirror image self part where their doubles came and stuff like that. Like, I don't even know. It, like, in thought, that should have worked and that should have been funny, but in seeing it, it was just so cringe that I found myself kind of like hiding my eyes from watching just because how cringy it was. So let's just say I did not really enjoy Zombieland Double Tap, but I so enjoyed the first Zombieland. The first Zombieland was amazing. Like, it was hilarious. The jokes were fresh and cheesy but good. And the chemistry of all the characters worked, even though in the ways they shouldn't have, but they did. And all the jokes landed on the first one for me. Like, I laughed through the whole movie and was excited every time they fought a zombie in the first Zombieland. That it kind of disappointed me when I saw the second Zombieland. So I was a little bit down on that, and it kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? And there's not much that I can say about it. It's just that it fell over the lines into too cheesy. So I'm going to have to give Zombieland Double Tap a 6 out of 10, where I gave Zombieland, the first Zombieland, I would give that like a 9 out of 10, because for a comedy, it was almost perfect. For an action comedy style zombie flick, it was almost perfect. I don't know what they could have done to make it a perfect 10, but I really enjoyed myself on the first Zombieland. So when it came to the second one, a very, very disappointing. I even tried to go in with kind of low expectations, only because I did hear and see all the reviews for it from when it first came out, because I know I'm super late on this review, because it came out so long ago. But so hearing all the old reviews, I put my expectations low. I was like, okay, everyone said that it's bad, so I'm not expecting something, amazing like the first one. And even still, when I had my mindset like that, when I watched it, it was still cringy and disappointing. So yeah, 6 out of 5 stars. if you run, I guess if you run out of things to watch and you want to watch a cringy comedy with zombies in it, I guess give Zombieland's Double Tap a watch. So there's my movie review of Zombieland. Now, let's get into a Netflix show. And not just any Netflix show, but one that is done by, I want to say it's the directors of Stranger Things. So, and I'm trying to find out the name of this. I'm not so into it. Not so into it. I don't know if that's the name of it. Netflix. I'm not okay with this. That's what it's called. Okay, gosh, why did they have to give this show such a long and weird name? But yes, supposedly it's from the directors or writers. I forget which ones. It's either the writers or the directors of Stranger Things. It's called I Am Not Okay With This. I end up binging. It's only 7 episodes, and I end up binging all 7 episodes. And this show is a little bit more complex because it is a slower burn. The show itself is such a slow burn. The way they end each episode is a little weird because it doesn't really like make you kind of want to see the next episode, but it leaves it like kind of not finished, so you kind of have a small feeling of wanting to see the next episode just to see what happens, but you kind of don't. Because here's what a good show does. When they end an episode, they make you feel like you really need to see the next episode. Like you want it, you crave it. You're like, yes, I am so ready for the next episode. Please give it to me. And when it's like, dumped out for binging and stuff, they still do that. I remember the Marvel Netflix stuff with like Daredevil and stuff did that. Every time I would finish an episode, I was like, yes, I'm ready for the next episode. Even in The Boys on Amazon, when I watched that, after every episode, I was like, yes, I'm ready for the next episode. Please give it to me. I want to watch it and see what happens. On this one, they always end each episode kind of like, it could be done here, but I guess there's another episode. I guess I'll watch it. So it was weird like that. And it was kind of slow all the way through with plots that you don't know where they were kind of going with it, but you kind of guess where they're going with it. So it's kind of a bit predictable. Some of the characters was cool. I liked the boy neighbor character that she ends up having kind of a semi-relationship with the main character. The main character is a girl who... What the show is basically kind of like a coming-of-age story, but with a girl who's not popular. She's like, the new kid in town, but a bit of a freak or weird. Everyone considers her a freak or weird or something like that. She has one friend in school, and she has a neighbor friend as well. Her and the neighbor hooks up on one of the episodes, and then her friend ends up having a boyfriend with the popular jock of the school and stuff like that. And it really would. And the thing is I felt like, if you guys ever seen the old school horror movie Carrie, they were kind of mirroring that a bit too much, because you kind of saw where they were going with it, even to where like the daughter and the mom were not getting along. It was just too close. Although they kind of like, instead they flipped it a little bit with it being like kind of making it like a superhero instead of supernatural type, show, which was kind of cool. And maybe I think that was the only thing that kept me interested and kept me watching, because I wanted to see where they would go with that. Spoilers though, they kind of end with that, and we have no resolution. And we don't know if they're going to have a season 2 yet, especially with everything that's going on right now with, the whole COVID-19 and quarantine, and no one's making any movies or shows right now. So we don't know if they're going to have a season 2 until I guess all of this is done and over with. But yeah, so spoilers, there's they kind of like poke at it a little bit with her and the neighbor, because the neighbor ends up being kind of her teacher in a little ways, trying to find out how to use her powers or how it works and stuff. And he has these comic books, and he's like, has there anybody's been following you and stuff like that? This is how superheroes begin. Yeah, so really, really, through the whole show, through all 6 episodes, remember, there's only 7 episodes. So all through 6 episodes, they're just building up to this, like, are they going to answer this question? And then once they get to the finale episode, they start to answer it, and then it ends. The show ends. I mean, I should spoil it because I already kind of spoiled some of it already, but I'm gonna keep a little secret in there. So if you guys want to know what actually or if you want to know what actually happens and stuff like that, then just watch this show. But because it is a little interesting. It's just like I guess maybe for my taste, because I've been into superheroes and supernatural things so much that I wish there was kind of more to it, and they leaned a lot on the relationship and the coming of age stuff so much that it took over the whole supernatural superhero part of it. And for me, I was kind of more interested in the whole supernatural superpower part of it instead of this whole coming of age stories, because there's been so many coming of age stories that I've seen them all. I know how it goes. I know what happens. I've lived through high school, and I kind of tend to not want to relive that anymore, just because like the whole high school experience, like, it's overrated. I know for some of you out there, high school was fun and it was great. And to tell you the truth, like, I did enjoy some of it as well, but I didn't really enjoy the whole experience of school. I more enjoyed the times that I had in between it, in that time period of what I've done, what I learned at that time, the friends that I had, because the friends that I had were kind of awesome at that time, and the experience we'd had together during those times of high school were amazing and, unforgettable. Like, I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life and enjoy those memories. But the whole high school experience itself was kind of, I don't know, lame, So I tend to not, when someone does a movie and they lean too much into it, I'm just like, yeah, not my style. I don't care to see it. I don't, But I mean, I guess it's interesting for other people, because I know, like, there's a lot of those type and a lot of those styles out there. So, I guess that's why they make so many of these stories and movies and shows about high school and stuff like that. So if you're into that type of thing, you might like it more than I did. So the thing is that it was kind of interesting, because they dangled enough for me to be interested, but they leaned too much into things that I wasn't interested in. But I bulldozed through it anyways, just because it was so bingeable, because it's only 7 episodes. I was like, you know what? It's only 7 episodes. I could get through it pretty easily. And the thing is, they did kind of leave it in a area where I was. If they had started where they ended, I would have loved it even more, I would say. Let's just say that. And because they ended it that way, I'm interested in a second season just to see where they go with it. If they even get a second season. So I'm kind of like, in a bit of ways, just because of how they ended it, I kind of want them to have a second season just so I could know what's going to happen, because I kind of want to know what happens. I just hope they don't go back to the whole, and there is actually, with the way it ended, there is no way they're going back to the whole high school coming of age story. They just can't. So yeah, I am kind of interested in a second season. Let's just say that. But yeah, I'm not okay with this. On Netflix, I will give it a 7 out of I'll give it, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Let's say that. Almost almost mediocre, a little bit enough to keep you interested, and yeah, watchable. It's definitely watchable. There's a episode where they had a very cringy scene just because I just don't like it when they throw in these awkward, like, I don't know, it's just so cringe. The thing is, I hate cringy scenes. Let's just say that. But what are you gonna do? It's in the story. I'm not the one writing it. I'm not the one making it. But it's watchable. Um, Plus, Netflix has a lot of things on there. So there you go. A movie review, TV show review. What more can you ask for? I did say I was gonna go into my playlist last week, and I kind of want to. I kind of forgot which one I was going to do, but I have this play, or I have. I have this 80s playlist. And I don't know where my obsession with 80s music comes from. It was probably because, that's kind of where I was raised. And there's a theory or a study that shows that, when you're young and when you were raised, what music was around kind of tends to stick with you. So, like, people who were raised during the 90s will end up kind of like, thinking of 90s music as nostalgic, and they'll go back to it and stuff like that. And people who are raised in the 80s will hear it and it's nostalgic, and they'll go back to it. And I believe it. And in ways it's kind of true, because even though, like, these weren't the type of style of music that I was looking for when I was younger to listen to, because I was like going through hip hop and metal and death metal when I was younger. But every time I hear these songs, it's nostalgic. It takes me back, and I like it. And so I made a playlist with all the songs that I kind of like dug. That's like 80 songs. And I play this once in a while I'm driving, if it's a long drive, just because it's nostalgic. It gets me thinking, it gets me remembering, and sometimes when I zone out, it plays well in my head and I start to sing along. And I gotta say, like, with 80s music, they're so good too. They're so good to sing along to. And that's what's kind of missing nowadays. There's not many songs that comes out that is like has that sing alongable feeling. And what I've kind of missed too is these like old school, like, fight for your love type ballads. It's a lot of that is missing from today's music. Think about it. Listen to the music that's out nowadays. A lot of it is like breakup songs, or like songs about money, or dissing this person, dissing that. I don't know. It's not too many. It's not that it's all gone. Once in a while you'll hear something that's close to a love ballad, but it's just still missing that something that these old 80 love ballads just had. But let's get into it. And I really don't have many stories on these, only because it's like, these are just songs that makes me feel good when I hear it. I have Belinda Carlisle, Heaven is a Place. Now, if you ask me why I like that song, I couldn't tell you why. It just, like, for some weird reason, it could have been even that I saw it in a movie or something. Because, like, when this song first came out, you wouldn't even catch me listening to it. Like, no way. I wouldn't even go out of my way to go buy it. I wouldn't make my way to go out and buy this, at that time, cassette or CD. Like, there's no way. But I think I've seen it in a movie later on, and I was like, hey, I remember that song. And then it just kind of like starts sticking, into that era of like nostalgia stuff. Next one is Don't Fear the Reaper. I kind of know why I like the song. It was on the old game Rock Band or Guitar Hero, either one. I forget which one. It was one of those two. But we played that game so many times, and Don't Fear the Reaper was one of the easier ones, so we did that a lot, and that's why it ends up on the list. I have another song by Creedence Clearwater. I forget what it is. I don't have the name of the song on here. It just has the name of the band. But yeah, they have a song. I like it. I believe it's like one of these songs that are kind of in horror movies. And as you would know, I am a fan of horror movies. So that's probably why it's on the list. Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Classic. I mean, why wouldn't anyone like that song? It's such a good song. There's like it I don't know. I know it's been in a few movies as well. Like, and I get a lot of these songs that I like that I hear in movies. So if I watch a movie and I like the movie and the song is in the movie, I end up kind of grabbing that song to put into a playlist to remind me of that movie in a ways. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Am I the only one who does that, or does anyone else out there do that? But yeah, I do that a lot. Now, the next few songs it's from actually not even an 80s band, but it has an 80s sound, and I think that's why I put it into this list. But it's actually the singer from AFI, Davey Havok, and he joined forces with the band members from No Doubt and started a band called Dream Car. And I felt like when I heard these three songs, it was so 80s style that it gave me that nostalgia feeling with it being new though. I don't know if you guys have ever had that feeling of hearing something new, but it has such this nostalgia feel to it that it felt like it existed so long already, and you like and you like it, like it makes you like it, but like you feel like this feeling of nostalgia, even though but it's a brand new thing. Well, I don't know if you guys ever felt that way about anything, but this band felt that way to me, and the band's called Dream Car. The three songs on there is All the Dead Girls, Born to Lie, and Kill for Candy. Next song up. This, like I said, if there's a movie that I like and I hear a song, I'll grab the song and put it on a playlist. But this song is in a weird old kind of like B-rated movie back in the days. It was like a TV B-rated movie, but it was like like an old school love action drama. It had like street gangs, and they were fighting over this girl who's a singer, and the weird thing is, all I remember is that the girl wore a red dress, and it was like a street biker gang versus like a mafia or something like that. But the song's called "I Can Dream About You," and it's by I don't know if it's a band or if it's the guy's name, but it's Dan Hartman. Next up, this is straight up, I don't know why. I think it's because when I was younger, I had a family friend, or one of the friends of my parents. They were always around, and they always played Hall & Oates. And it just stuck with me, just because how good Hall & Oates is. But I remember listening to it when I was so young, so small, and I kept on hearing it once in a while when I was growing up. And when I got to a certain age, I started looking for their music again, and it's good. Hall & Oates, dude. Hall & Oates. I have Out of Touch on here, Private Eye. Then let's get into Joy Division. Love Will Tear Us Apart. I think I only like this song because every time I go into any place that plays 80s music, like an 80s club or something like that, they always play Love Will Tear Us Apart. So that's on there. The Cure. Who doesn't love The Cure? I have Just Like Heaven on here. I have Let's Dance by David Bowie. Kind of same reason why I like all the other songs. It's 80s, it's nostalgia. I have another Belinda Carlisle song, Mad About You, on here. Modern English, once again, you get into anything 80s, they're always on the list. There's just old school goodness. I mean, turn it on and you're going to have like at least 10 people sing along to it, right? We Belong by Pat Benatar. I think this is another one where it was like I saw it on a B-rated movie when I was younger, and it was weird because I watched a lot of B-rated movies when I was younger, only because on those mornings when I was sick and didn't have to go to school, or on Saturday mornings, no one was really there to, because I grew up kind of, I grew up without any. Like, I was a bit of a latchkey kid because I had no supervision almost. So the TV and B-rated TV shows B-rated TV shows and movies were kind of my babysitter. So I watched a lot of B-rated movies and a lot of morning cartoons and stuff like that. And not Belinda Carlisle, but We Belong Together by Pat Benatar was on a movie. I don't remember what movie it was, but I think that's the only reason why I like that song. Under Pressure. Under Pressure is a bit of a weird one because everyone knows that it for like the younger generation. Vanilla Ice made it popular for it by using the beat, and then for people like me, we dug into it and found the original song. So I hear it from Vanilla Ice first. I dig into it, and I find Queen and David Bowie doing the cover, and I like the original version better. So Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. Next up is another B-rated song from a B or not B. It's not even. I don't know if it's a B-rated song, but it's another song from another B-rated movie. And this one, I actually remember what movie it was. It was off of the movie Mannequin. And I don't know for why, but I love those weird B-rated romance movies that had to do with magic and stuff like that. Because if you guys don't know what Mannequin was, it was about a dude who worked at a department store, and he had to do the styling of these mannequins. And when one night the mannequin comes alive, and they end up falling in love, and they had to find a way to keep her as a real person. But every time someone comes around, she ends up becoming a mannequin again, and there was like a spell that they had to break or something like that. So it was like, yeah, interesting. I like that type of stuff. But yeah, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship. I have Under the Milky Way. I don't know why, or I don't even remember how I found this song. I remember it because it was eerie when I first heard it, but I don't remember where I first heard it. But I just remember it being super eerie, and yeah, and for some weird reason I dug it just because it sounded so, like, not to the point to where it was scary, but to the point where you could find yourself like listening to it, and I don't know, weird stuff happening around you. I don't know if you guys have even heard that song, but if you tell me, Under the Milky Way, how does that make you feel? Listen to that song. Psychedelic Furs, love that band. They're kind of like old school pop punk almost. I have A Heartbreak Beat, Love My Way, and Pretty in Pink, and The Ghost in You. Such good music. If you guys have never heard of Psychedelic Furs, go look it up. It's good stuff. A lot of it was in like John Hughes movies and stuff like that. You can even hear some of it in the Stranger Things soundtracks and some of the newer stuff like that. So, but good stuff. And then we get into kind of the stuff that's been around. Van Halen, When It's Love, Why Can't This Be Love? I don't know why. Like, then this, because this goes into the whole love ballad stuff. It's such good stuff. I also have another Starship song, We Built This City. And then I have some old 80s, like, love ballad stuff by Heart. I Will Be There Waiting For You. I forgot the name of the artist. Patti Smith, The Warriors, which is also off of another B-rated movie. I'm trying to get through these fast. Aerosmith, Angel, such a good 80s love song. Billy Joel, Uptown Girl, a more upbeat, poppier song. And then I got a couple of like kind of like the old school, not Spanish, but like Spanish style pop stuff. Lisa and the Cult. I have a couple of her songs. I don't have the song. I don't have the name of the song on here, but I know. But I have them on here. Send Me an Angel by Real Life. Saint Elmo's Fire, a classic love song. Not really classic, but it's off of the movie Top Gun. If you guys have ever seen Top Gun, Dirty Dancing, Time of My Life. I don't know. It's from the movie Dirty Dancing, but the song is called Time of My Life. And there you go. That's the 80s playlist for me. There's a lot of other good songs too that comes from the 80s. I just, we would spend like hours and hours going through it if I had to like put everything into it. But those are the songs that are on my playlist. I actually have other songs on there, but like it doesn't really need to be mentioned because some of them is not even 80s stuff. It's just stuff that sounds 80, which is kind of off of my synth wave playlist, but it's in there anyways. But I didn't want to say them because I was save it for my synth wave playlist. When I do another playlist talk through, I'll do a synthwave one. If not, if I don't choose another one that I'm gonna do, but yeah, crazy times though, right, guys? I went through this episode kind of fast, just because I didn't want to spend too long, but I did want to give you guys some stuff to watch or listen to while we're all doing this. We're all in it together. And whether you think it is a conspiracy or if you don't think it's a conspiracy, it's good for us to kind of be doing this right now because unless all you guys want your grandparents and stuff to die, then let's just do this and get through it. Self-quarantine yourself, social distance yourself. Big shout outs to everyone out there who's keeping the world running. People who work at the grocery stores, people who work at the banks, all the, military, all of the police and firemen and stuff like that. Pharmacy workers. I don't know if I'm missing anything, but big ups and big shout outs to those people who are out there still doing the things that they got to do to keep our world running while we please quarantine yourself and get yourself, keep yourself safe. Safe distance from everybody. This is crazy times we're going through, but we gotta get through it. Keep ourselves healthy. I don't know how this is all gonna end, but let's just hope it all gets back to normal. Because I want to say that, if everyone quarantines themselves and gets through this incubation time, then we have a whole summer to not get sick, and then maybe by the time this year ends, we should have a vaccine that works. You know, who knows? But there's doctors out there, there's scientists and doctors out there working on it. They're just not reporting it. Try not to listen to the news too much, because the news is just making everyone panic even more. Just know that we're all in this together. Let's get it through together. And I love everyone out there. Thank you for watching this episode. If you are new around here, please hit that like and subscribe. And with that said, I will see you all on the next episode. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you liked the video you guys just watched. And if you did, please do not hesitate to hit that like button and that subscribe button. And then tell a friend. And if you guys want to see more videos, check them out below. I should have 2 other videos to check out. We have other stuff to see on this channel. And with that said, we thank you guys all for watching. And we'll check you guys out laters.